Hey guys, what is happening? AnimetalViking here, and before we get into the podcast, I would just like to encourage you guys once again to check out Mike's channel. The link is in the description box below, and it will be at the end of this video. And also be sure to show Claudio some love as well by checking out his channel. And yeah, guys, enjoy the show and be sure to stick around until the end. So if you enjoy this podcast, be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends, and leave a comment in the comments box below. So, without further delay, guys, let us get into this. Hey guys, what is happening? And welcome to the 5th episode of the AnimetalKast podcast. And today, Claudio and I will be interviewing the one and only Mike The Music Snob from the channel Become the Night. So, guys, how are you all doing?
Great.
I'm doing fantastic. Got myself some whiskey here, talking with some dudes across the sea, kicking ass.
Got the prop ready.
Oh, of course.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so guys, before we begin, I would like to encourage you guys, the listeners, to check out the links in the description box below and at the end of the video and show Mike some love. He makes some great content, and if you maybe want to learn a little bit about music, then his channel is the place to go.
If you want to ensure you never have friends again, go watch my videos.
Oh gosh, that's pretty crazy. Okay, so Mike, can you tell the listeners what it is you do on your channel precisely?
All right, so basically it's a music channel, mostly focused around reaction videos right now, which, trust me, it was not my first choice, but hey, you know, when you find something that hits, run with it, you know? Yeah, so I don't do a normal reaction. Well, I don't know really what a normal reaction is. I don't follow the community too much, but I don't do like a sit and watch through. I do more of an H3 style where we take small clips and I digest it and give an analysis or just poke fun at the idiots on screen, you know? So.
Yeah, that format. Yeah, no, but it seems to be working out for you. So that's really awesome.
Appreciate that, man.
Okay, so what I want to know is now what made you decide to start a YouTube channel and make videos, and were there any channels or YouTubers in particular that maybe inspired you to start?
Yeah, so I decided one day that I hated my life and I wanted to end it all. So I decided to make videos where everyone would hate what I would say and then come and tell me to kill myself. No, in reality. What really made me start it was I'm a musician, for those of you who don't know, and that's really what the channel is about, is trying to build an audience for that when I finally have time to get back to actually making music. But yeah, so I moved down to Nashville from Pennsylvania. It's a long distance. I knew nobody down in this town. It was literally like, geez, how far back do we gotta go? So my mentor back home, he had said, so what are you planning on doing after college, after you're done? I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to Los Angeles. He's like, Nashville. And he's also a prog head, and I was like, do you know what the hell you're saying? Like I thought Nashville was all country. He's like, dude, it's Music City for a reason. There's all kinds of music down there, all kinds of talent. That's where you want to be. So I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and give that a shot. So I moved down here, no contacts, no nothing. I'm waiting tables for a year, and I'm just getting to a point where I'm just like, all right, shit or get off the pot time. I got to figure something out. So I decide to start working on my own original music again, and I say, I can either sit down and write this entire album, record this entire album, and try and peddle it to people, which is going to be next to impossible, or I can build an audience online. At that point, I was actually quite depressed. I was actually quite depressed during this time, and I was getting into YouTube as a form of consumption, you know, as a media consumption. So yes, that's where I was like, shit, literally anybody can do this. I can do this, you know, like every idiot says they think they can, you know, make a YouTube channel. But yeah, so that's basically how it started. Was I decided to build the audience first and bring the music around that.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Also a really good idea because nowadays it's a very different market and way of promoting your stuff through media now.
Oh, seriously.
Than what it was back in the day. Yeah, nobody trades the cassette tapes in the mail and stuff anymore like they used to. So
no.
So yeah, no, that's pretty good. Geez, but to move all the way from Pennsylvania, wow.
Yeah, I love Pennsylvania. It's beautiful up there, and it's a great place to raise a family. It is boring as hell. It is completely boring.
Okay, cool. Now you say you've done some music and stuff. So, does that mean have you ever released any EPs, LPs, or full-length albums before?
Yes, I'm saving that for a milestone video. I'll be willing to talk about it a little bit. I will, but
okay, cool.
No links to this at this time. Trust me. There's a plan. There is a plan.
There's a plan. It's all according to plan. That's pretty awesome. Geez, Claudio, you're pretty quiet there.
Yeah, I'm listening here. I'm listening here.
He's just enthralled by the beautiful sound of my voice.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very soothing. No, I was actually waiting for the question about your own music because I watched a few of your videos just to get to know you a bit from that. And from what I understand, you like Dream Theater and stuff like that, prog and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Is your music along those lines as well? Or, I mean... So you just said that you didn't kind of want to give it away completely, but if you could say a little something about your music, what would that be?
Oh, totally. No, I'll be happy to talk about the style. So, that first album. Hold on one second. Sorry, I just needed to check something really quick.
No worries.
Yeah, that first album was very much a learning experience, and that was like I started recording that right when I discovered Dream Theater in Prague. So the music on that album is not very proggy, but yeah, definitely the stuff I've been writing now is more in that vein. I am not nearly as talented as most of the people that I idolize. So, I like
who is
what's that? Oh yeah, who is exactly? Yeah. But yeah. So, if I had to compare myself, I'd put myself more in line with like a Michael Ackerfeld, in that sense, where his music goes less for the crazy technical side of stuff, like the guy like Opeth, you know.
Yeah.
And more for the soundscape experience. He got a lot more into that when the guy from Porcupine Tree, Steve Wilson, when he hopped on and started producing for him. But yeah, it's probably closer to that vein. I mean, my biggest influences right now for songwriting, I'm gonna take Metallica out of there because I try to sound as little as Metallica as possible, and I always wind up sounding like them. So that's like how I learn guitar. But definitely Dream Theater, Opeth, and Periphery. Those are like my songwriting influences.
Strange that you mentioned Periphery. I mean, Periphery it's a pretty new band. At least to me, it is. I mean, you talked about Opeth. The three bands are very different. I mean, I totally get why you would listen to those three bands, but they're very, very different. I mean, I've been around Opeth since, I guess, around Orchard, Blackwater. I mean, the whole around the 90s. I actually started to listen to those guys, and
wow,
for me, Opeth is like from Ghost Reveries and beyond. It started to go downhill. That's just me, but I mean.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like an old Opeth fan.
So you're more on the death metal side of things.
Yeah, a little bit. But the thing is, like, I mean, I love Deliverance. I really do. And Damnation are fucking awesome albums. I love Ghost Reveries, but
oh my goodness, Damnation.
Everything after that is like, I like Heritage. Watershed is really cool as well, but it doesn't have the. I guess I miss the metal element, if you know what I mean, because they're going to the progressive 70s kind of thing, which is totally cool as well. But for that, I'd rather listen to, I don't know, Rush stuff like that, you know.
Yep.
So,
or Porcupine Tree.
Yeah, I love Porcupine Tree. Porcupine Tree is really good.
Yeah.
I love Steve Wilson's voice first and foremost. He has a very, very good voice.
Oh my goodness, like butter, like butter.
Yeah. So no. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool mix. I mean, Periphery in the mix. It's kind of like out there a little bit, but still, it's cool. I guess they bring something new to the whole experience of. Yeah.
As far as I can tell, they helped pioneer gent. That's one of the reasons why I have respect for them, is because, like, you know, I'm sure gent was around before them, but it wasn't nearly as popularized. And they took
that's true.
They took something and did something different with it. Not only that, especially on Periphery 2 and Juggernaut, they made it a lot more digestible.
I think there were the bands that I like that are into the gent genre, if you want to call them that. Is I really love Animals as Leaders.
Hell yeah.
They have a very close connection to Periphery, if I'm not mistaken. I think they write together. I think Misha Mansour did part of the... Yeah, Misha Mansour actually programmed the drums for the first Animals as Leaders album, if I'm not mistaken. And
that's awesome.
They have some close connections there. And I just really love the instrumentals of Tobin Abassin, the guitar player in Animals as Leaders. He's such a beast. It's so cool to listen to him.
Oh my goodness, he's insane. That level of talent blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, the whole jazzy thing that he has going is so awesome. It's so good.
That album they released, like, I think it was like 2 years ago or something. Yeah, it was about 2 years ago, maybe a little more. That was like really, really jazz heavy, and I liked that a lot more, actually. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love their heavy shit. I can only do so much brutality at once, you know? Like,
No, I totally get it.
Yeah, rhythmically, they do some amazing stuff. Amazing stuff.
Very, very much so. Totally agree. This sounds like a nerdy guitar prog player kind of podcast. Maybe we should switch it up.
A little bit.
Yeah, time to switch it up. So I do want to ask Mike. Now, obviously, when you title your videos, you refer to yourself as Mike The Music Snob, and obviously, while you've stated numerous times in your videos that you're a bit of a cynical guy for the most part, I have to ask: is the snob thing like a persona of sorts that developed as the channel progressed, or is it something a little more personal?
It's a little of both. I've always been a snob about music, especially when I was really into Metallica. They were the best band ever, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, if you didn't understand it, it's like, okay, not talking to you anymore, you know? So, like, as it got worse when I went to school for music and I started really understanding and paying attention more to classical and listening to more jazz. That's actually the melding of those three is how I got into prog. Shocking, right?
Yeah.
So I was always pretty fucking snobby about it, and the snob was intensified once I got into prog. And like, I wouldn't say I was a total dickhead or anything, but just like, I couldn't figure out why people like these dumbed down simple songs when you had these mind blowing experiences on record that people just weren't taking the time to pay attention to. And you know, my fiance, I was engaged. I was engaged at one time. My fiance.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that's the whole fucking thing. But my fiance.
See, Russell is a virgin. That's why he wouldn't be able to relate. You know, it's difficult.
Come on, bro.
So how much do you have to pay? How much do you have to pay Claudio to edit that out? That's the real question.
He probably won't.
Freaking A. But yeah, my fiance at the time, she liked metal. Like, her and I, one of our bonding things was Metallica, but she also really likes country music a lot. So I had to suffer through that, and I tried to introduce her to other music, and she was always, with any kind of media we consume, whether it was TV shows, movies, or music, I was always like overly analytical and critical, and it would always like ruin the movie for her. She's like, you're ruining this for me, you're ruining it. So, I mean, I was kind of a dick in that respect, and I had to learn that if I was gonna make friends, that you can't just shit all over their music and shit all the time. You have to sometimes just keep your mouth shut. So, as an alternative, when I started my YouTube channel, I was like, I can vent this part of my personality and like really exaggerate it and even make fun of myself. You know, I call myself Mike the Music Snob, not because I think it's a term of endearment. It's because it's a fucking shitty name. You know? Like,
yeah, I was actually talking to Russell about that a few days ago. I was like wondering before I checked out your channel like properly, right? I was like, I wonder if this guy is like that, like in real life. And I was like, and Russell was like, nah, I don't think so. I'm not sure. And I was like, this motherfucker might be like this. In that case, that's gonna be a fucking problem. Because
it's gonna be a weird podcast, gentlemen. It's gonna be a weird podcast, gentlemen.
But then I started watching your channel and I went back in time. For example, I watched the What is Progressive Metal? That old video you did like a few years back, and it's obviously not you, the snob. I mean, that's a personality that comes with the whiskey glass with a bunch of fucking ice. You know, so. I mean, this guy can't be for real. And after I watch a few of your videos, I kind of get that. But it's very difficult when you get into your channel at first and you watch popular videos. It's difficult to distinguish. Okay, is this playing a role, or is this the way this motherfucker is? I'm like, what is it? You know?
That means I'm doing it right. So good. I'm glad that's how you felt about it.
Sure. For sure you are. The only thing that gave it away was the old videos where you can see a more humble side of you, if you know what I mean. The progressive metal.
I think the word you're looking for is more cringy side of me.
Yeah, well,
dear God, those
that
old
as well.
videos.
But I mean, that's the way it is with old videos. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, tell me about it with my old vids. Oh, goddamn. But anyway, that's really cool, man. I think that's great that you found a way to kind of like express it and even make fun of it a little bit, because like some folks these days take shit way too seriously. Like, I mean, I've gotten into plenty of stupid fights with people just because I pass one comment. Like, I'll be like, like, let's take, for example, I had this video. I made it a while back. Now, it's a really cringy video because it's where, it's when I used to do my videos in the cringy way. But I basically went on an entire tangent about how this one cartoon I grew up on and that I really loved, like, started, like, to be shit after the third season. And then it basically became a marketing thing to sell toys, and they no longer cared about the story and shit. I literally had some overly sensitive guy who was like, all positivity and shit and whatnot type in the comments, busy shitting on me. And I'm just like sitting there like, oh, good grief, it's a cartoon. Please stop attacking me with 20 comments about why the new seasons are the best and why Nickelodeon is better than Madhouse Studio or some shit. I'm like, stop it, please.
One of the best videos I've seen in a while is actually one of your videos.
Me or Mike?
Mike, actually. Since he's the fucking guest here, dude.
I need specifics.
Yeah.
Anyway, go
on. The thing you did with the two douchebags playing the guitar and one dude drumming on the guitar.
Yeah.
You know what video? That was fucking gold. That's so good. And it's like how upset you are about the fact that one of the dudes is it's like hitting the guitar and the motherfucker's off beat as well, and the whole situation is so cringy just to watch, and it becomes even funnier. You getting so upset about it as well. It's so good. It's just so good.
So do you know the whole thing behind that?
Well, yeah, something about some Spotify. Like they were supposed to send in some, I don't know, like a submission to a Green Day cover. Was that it?
Yeah. That was me and Ben. That was me and Ben in that video where I was sitting down and roasting myself.
Yeah, and it's so fucking funny, and I died laughing, and I thought, this is some good shit. Because it was done so good, you know, the holding the guitar and playing like offbeat, like clearly offbeat. It's like, clearly, what the fuck is going on? So good.
So did you see the behind the scenes video? It was like a minute and a half of that.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so here's
you have
plan.
That on your channel as well?
Yeah, it's up there. It's literally me being like, hey, Ben and I are trying to do this video for the Green Day thing for Spotify, and he hit me up like the day before. He's like, yeah, it's due tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So let's do a folk cover because it's gonna take way too long to throw a metal one together. And
okay.
For the fucking record, the instructions that they gave as far as the beats per minute in the key were incorrect, and we followed the instructions and everyone else didn't. So that's why we weren't in like the main portion of the video. Kind of kind of fucking irritating. Okay. So yeah, Spotify calling you out, assholes.
Anyway, I thought that shit was the funniest. So cool.
Yeah. But on top of that though, like I told him, like, we did it in like an hour and a half, like learning how to play the song, recording it, mixing, mastering, everything, hour and a half. And I was like, Ben and I are gonna take 2 days, like a weekend. We're just gonna seclude ourselves in a building and just write an entire folk album, like ironically, and make it like completely shit and release it under a pseudonym.
Oh gosh!
Just as a social experiment.
Okay. Now, so you went all Fuzzy Tube there.
Yeah.
Now, I have another question to ask. Now, obviously, you're a fan of progressive metal, and you've listed those specific bands. Was it Dream Theater, Opeth, Periphery, and can't remember the name of the other one, but you mentioned it in the What is Prog Metal video. Are there any like other genres that you, or bands, artists that you enjoy outside of prog, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's part of the thing. One of the reasons why I love prog so much is because you can literally fuse anything into it, you know? And it can either act as a bridge to help you appreciate other genres more, or it can shit, what was I gonna say? I don't even remember. Oh well, either way, it's a great uniter in that sense, and I think it's honestly a higher form of art, you know. And because of that, I've actually been able to branch myself out more and listen to other genres I wouldn't have been able to listen to. So
oh, cool.
Let's see, other genres off the top of my head. Obviously, metal in general. I get particular about my songs that I enjoy, but you know, that's just like a personal thing. Let's see what else. Definitely get down with some classic rock, of course. I can dig on some reggae if it's the right mood and the right vibe. Some of the more weirder jam bands like Widespread Panic or Disco Biscuits. One of my old roommates introduced me to them. They were really cool.
Okay.
Rap. I actually do really like rap, believe it or not.
That's all cool, yeah.
My childhood friend is actually a pretty solid rapper and used to be amazing at freestyle before he had to I'm not going to disclose that information. But
oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. But no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, because I was just wondering because, like, I know the somewhat of what you're into because obviously from your reactions when you say this is good. But do you know what? Why I really wanted to ask that question? I actually got really surprised. I came across your video where you had your parents react to a playlist of songs, and then like you started off soft, and it was like, oh, here's some Bob Marley and some Billy Joel and stuff, and then it escalated from Iron Maiden to Metallica, and then you were even playing the friggin' deathcore at one point with the what was the band, the Tony
Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. Yep.
Yes. I was like, deathcore. Oh my gosh. So I was like, I love the deathcore stuff. So But yeah, no, I thought that was cool, but your parents' faces were like, what the hell is this? Thankfully, he didn't play them some Slaughter to Prevail or something like that, because Alex Terrible's voice is just a freaking beast, that guy.
Oh, that might be in number 2. Maybe in number 2. I needed to get them on another video. They were gold. I love them to death, and they were freaking hilarious on that video. Oh my gosh.
No, but that was a good video. I was laughing so hard. Like, your dad was actually like being like, oh yeah, I can understand the talent behind it, and your mom's like, nope, this is not for me.
Keep it in mind too, that's not normally how my dad is. We caught him when he was in a good mood and he had a couple drinks, so he's just getting into it. He normally would not be getting into it. Like, I remember I tried to show my dad like the Metallica S&M concert to like try and like help him understand like why I love this band, and he was like, I love everything except for the guitars and the drums and the singing. It was like,
oh gosh, that's just like my parents used to be. My parents used to be like, when I started getting into metal, I obviously because of the age I am, I started getting into metal with a lot of the new metal stuff, because a lot of that was pretty much infused into some of the cartoons or the video games I used to play as a kid, like Devil May Cry or Batman Beyond. Like, that was pretty much there, and it came out in that time where new metal was a big thing. So yeah, it was like, I'd come to my parents and I'd be like, oh hey mom and dad, can you check out some Slipknot, can you check out some Mudvayne, can you check out all this stuff, and they were just like, you're just screaming and all that stuff. And then now it's gotten worse as I've gotten older, because like now I'm into the more extreme styles, like a bit of black metal, a bit of death metal, deathcore, slamming, brutal death metal.
Oh, dear Lord.
So you'll hear me like, I was like, okay, mom and dad, this has got some classical elements. So I play Flesh God Apocalypse, and then they're like, that drumming, that's a noise. And I'm just like, what? It's so cool. So yeah, no, but they're open-minded for the most part. Like, my dad actually enjoys Metallica and Nightwish a lot, but yeah, but I can't say he enjoys a lot of the heavier stuff I play. Like, every time I put on a deathcore album or even just normal death metal, like I was playing Dying Fetus the one time, and he was just like, is there a Cookie Monster over there? Like, so yeah, no, but I've still got to introduce him to Tool and Opeth, though. I think you might enjoy those, but I haven't had the time of day yet.
If you're gonna introduce him to Opeth, do Damnation first, guaranteed. That's always the clincher. It helps people get the sound, and then maybe like bring them on to either like Heritage or like Pale Communion. And then you just take that shit full throttle, like, okay, Blackwater Park now, motherfucker.
Yeah, Blackwater Park, definitely. But yeah, no, that's pretty good. But now, this is one particular question I'm going to ask Mike. I just want to list a few bands, and then I want you to just kind of give like a brief summary of what you think of them. So I'm just going to name like
I might not necessarily know them. Just keep that in mind. Might not necessarily know them.
If you don't know them, just like be like pass or don't know, something like that.
All right.
Okay. So first band, Maximum the Hormone.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna need to be a pass. I haven't listened to enough of their stuff, man. I've got enough.
But do you know of them?
I do know of them. They got a good.
No, that's all right.
They got a good sound. Yeah, that's about all I can really do. They got a good sound.
That's all good. That's all good. Let's see, Carnifex.
Carnifex, little too. What's the word I'm looking for? Not grovelly. Just a little bit too much. Like high end distortion is basically the way I would describe that. Their arrangements and stuff are pretty okay for like the metal type thing, but yeah, no, not really my thing, honestly.
Krach Angren.
Oh, dude, pass. Sorry, no, don't have no idea. No clue.
What kind of bands are these? What the fuck is this?
don't worry, Claudio. Don't worry.
Hey,
you'll get it soon enough.
You'd be surprised, man. A lot of these show up in Song Suggestion Friday. A lot of them do.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Let's see. Volvadenia.
Pass. I have no idea. No clue.
Okay. And the last one, Septic Flesh.
Who?
Septic Flesh.
Septic Flesh?
Yes.
I have no idea. Yeah, those last couple, I was like, no clue. Never even heard of them.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I did pick some very more obscure names, but
no worries. No worries.
Because I mean, I know it's so easy to pick on like the bigger names, but I just wanted to like kind of see like what you're familiar with, what maybe gets suggested in your Song Suggestion Friday.
And that's the thing too. So, you know, a lot of those get suggested, but what makes it onto the show is whatever the patrons vote on. I try to throw in more obscure ones, but you know, people are going to vote for what they know for. So
exactly,
it kind of makes it difficult. And like when I have more time, I definitely want to do like a few just more obscure episodes where I just pick a couple that I have like no idea what the fuck this band is. All right, let's listen to it, you know? And
yeah,
and do that as like an extra show so it doesn't take away from the patrons voting. Because I feel like if I would just do a show, it would kind of be like almost like a middle finger to my patrons, and I would not want to do that, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Okay, no, but that's really cool. And I'm sorry, Claudia. I just had to ask just in case because it's so funny, Mike. Claudio, I actually got him to react to Volvadenia, which is a band from my country.
Nice.
I got Galactic Criminal to check them out and everything like that. And you should have seen these guys' reactions. It was pretty hilarious.
No, but the truth is, it wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it. The thing. I mean, the musicmanship. I mean, the drummer was he was such a great drummer, and everybody involved were really good. I mean, at what they're doing. The thing is, was like it was so extremely brutal. It was like, wow, not something I normally listen to.
The pig squeals.
Yeah, I was.
Like, that's your reaction to the pig squeals was like the stuff.
Oh God!
Even though I just sucked at that.
Dude, when they get hard, and like not this band particularly, but like any of those like core type bands, when they get into the pig squeals, man, I start laughing just because of how over the fucking top it is. Like, how can you take this seriously? Honestly, how can you?
Yeah, you can't. You really can't, because I'm friends with the vocalist on Facebook, and you literally it's basically like there is some seriousness in it, like an underlying thing, but for the most part, it's just a meme. Like he has so many side projects, so many other bands and stuff, and he even has one band where literally the name makes no sense. It's basically the name of the band is if someone had a seizure while typing on the keyboard, and it's just like, you know, when you just type gibberish on the keyboard and it goes like like that. Yeah, that's essentially one of the projects, and I'm like, what is this? No, but he's a really cool dude.
Hell yeah,
they're a really good band. So there's a lot of talent with them. But there's literally no metal scene here in South Africa really at all. So if you want to go to like I mean, bands do come here, but it's not like overseas where your local town here's like, oh my gosh, Cannibal Corpse are coming to town. Oh my gosh, now it's like you get a underground flyer and it's like, Cannibal Corpse, that band's coming.
Dude,
who are they again?
You know what I think? You know what I think it is, Russell.
Stuff,
You know what I think it is? I think you just missed the metal train in South Africa because
I'm being serious. There's no community.
But I know what to say. But I have friends that have played South Africa. You just missed out on the years when the Haunted were there, when In Flames used to go. I mean, I've talked to those guys. I've talked to Dark Tranquillity as well, and they've told me, I know they've been there. You just missed out because either you're too young or something, but it wasn't during your time or something like that. I don't know if they'll go back there now, but I know that they've been there a few times, So
I know Behemoth came like a year or two ago, along with what was that other band? Rotting Christ, and there was a huge protest, because this country is still very religious and all. So there was a huge protest, and I mean, like, I thought to myself, come on, these guys are practically playing in a basement, and you're acting like they're performing at the Coca-Cola Dome or some shit like that to like millions of people or some shit. I was like, that's for Metallica and stuff, but not for Behemoth.
Well, they're kind of extreme. I mean, it depends on what bands you get there. I mean, bands like In Flames are very, pop metal.
Yeah,
so it's easier.
Yeah,
to...
now they are. Yeah. But so I got another thing I want to ask Mike now. Mike, you mentioned in one of your videos that you do enjoy video games, but I want to know, are there any other hobbies or pastimes you enjoy outside of playing music?
There were. There were before YouTube and music consumed my extra time. Hold on 1 second here. Just gonna adjust the mic just a little bit. All right, cool.
That's fine.
Yeah, so video games was definitely one of them. Drinking, obviously, and eating. I'm definitely a foodie. Let's see what else. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh, daggone it. My headphones on low battery, just a heads up. So I still got everything recording.
Okay.
We're good there. But I just want to give you guys a heads up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so foodie, alcohol, video games. I was actually into exercise for a while. I used to be in pretty damn good shape, and I let myself go real fucking quick. But was able to get some of that weight off, as I'm sure some people could see. And starting to get back into it.
You still look fine.
Yeah, so still got that gut. Still got that snob gut.
The snob gut. That's trademarked now.
Amen. What else? Honestly, hiking. I just enjoy being out in nature,
cool.
And getting out and letting my brain is crazy and goes at about 1 billion miles an hour. You should see some of the outtakes on those reaction videos, dear Lord. But yeah, I haven't been able to get out as much as I wanted to in the last year and a half, but that will be changing. Hopefully very soon. I will be able to quit my full-time job relatively soon, and I will be able to focus more on the channel and actually have a life, social life.
Cool.
What work do you do? Like, what's your job that you do?
I'd prefer not to say where or what.
Okay.
As far as the job itself, more of a sales capacity.
Oh, okay, all right. No, that's all right then. But geez, okay. Yeah, but I mean, work can be very stressful, and then having to come home and do an extra something. Yeah, so
oh my gosh,
it consumes all your free time.
I'm just used to it now. Honestly, I've been on this grind since I forget when it was. It was either August or somewhere around August of last year. I said to myself, and I forget why, but I said to myself, I'm dedicating myself to making one video a week, no matter what the hell it is. And that's actually where the reaction video came up. That first reaction video, the Metallica one, that was filler. That was just something I needed to do to get a video out, because I made myself say I'm gonna do a video a week, and it just blew the fuck up for no reason. So I was like, hey, I'll take it, And since then I've been trying. Oh God, and Song Suggestion Friday. Oh, what a bear that has become. That was actually that was just supposed to be some fun thing that I would do as an extra thing for audience engagement on the weekends, and just be like, hey, just throw some songs at me, I'll listen to them, we'll make it really quick, really snappy. That's why the first couple of videos were just me on my phone, just holding my phone, doing that, and I had people complaining, oh, it's too shaky, oh, the audio is pretty shitty. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So that takes more time. And then I got the patrons involved, the freaking, pledge on Patreon to get to vote in the poll. So now it's not only does it have to be up, but I have to get all those suggestions into a poll. I have to take all those suggestions out of a poll after they voted on them after 24 hours, and then listen to everything, write everything down, like actually sit down and like take fucking notes. Before it was like maybe like a couple words or whatever, like I just listen to them really quick and then record it. And now it's just like, oh, it's a bear. It's a fucking bear.
So you've officially gone down the path of being a professional music critic.
Sadly, yes. Sadly, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Next, Anthony Fantano.
Yeah, dude. I have a question for you. I noticed you were a lefty.
Yes.
Is that so, Mike?
Okay, yes. And can we say this for the entire comment section? Yes. For the love of God, I am left-handed. Please stop asking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The reason why I'm asking is because I'm a lefty as well.
The lefty player?
I play guitar, yeah.
I mean, like, you play left-handed. You don't just write left-handed.
No, I play left-handed as well. Yeah.
Rock on. And I'm sorry also because you can never walk into a guitar center.
You know the struggle.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you that the struggle is real over here in Sweden. I mean, compared to where you live in the States, at least you have some variety of left-handed guitars. I take what I can get, and
literally.
Well, yeah. The thing is, like, it's very expensive to be left-handed here. You know, I can't buy like a cheap, like, standard kind of guitar. I was wondering what
very
guitars
difficult
you have.
to be very difficult to be left-handed there. Do you feel oppressed? Do you feel oppressed? Do we need affirmative action?
Yeah.
This is some bullshit. No, we're starting the movement now.
Yeah.
Starting the movement now. Lefties around the world, unite.
Yeah.
Get the petitions up.
We must rise against our right-handed oppressors. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is really hard, you know, because you can't get.
Oh shit!
I mean,
hold up.
Everything
Can you guys still
is
hear me?
like 15%.
Oh shit! Hold on.
More
Hold
expensive.
on.
It's some bullshit, you know.
Okay, sorry. You're gonna have to say all that over again because my headset died, and now I have you on like my regular phone. But
okay.
Sorry. Yeah,
but
please continue.
You can still hear us, right?
Yes, I can. We were talking about our right-handed oppressors. Please continue.
Yeah. You have any problems with that? Finding gear?
All the fucking time. All the
Really?
time. I remember walking into a Guitar Center when I was in college and seeing the signature Steve Vai guitar. I think you guys have an idea of how much my dick is enormous for Steve Vai. But yeah, like I saw it and I was like, I don't care if it's right-handed, I have to play it. It was the most unsatisfying experience ever. It was fucking horrible. It's just like, because you want to shred on it, you want to play some awesome licks, and you just can't because it's fucking upside down. Like, I wanted to cry. I wanted to fucking cry.
Yeah.
Like, you can find stuff online that's left-handed, but obviously you can't play it. You know, the luckiest I have gotten, there's actually a music store, literally I could walk to it from where I live right now. God bless Nashville, by the way. But, yeah, so freaking rolled up there. There was an acoustic guitar. It was like a blue style acoustic guitar that was like a $2,300 guitar that and it was left-handed. It was actually left-handed. I don't know why they had it in stock. I wasn't going to ask questions. All I know is it was the most expensive guitar I ever played. And it was wonderful to be able to have that experience of finally being able to touch something that wasn't like $300, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's the problem I have is like, you can't even get them cheap here anymore. I mean, back when I was most active, it was difficult. I have to order custom guitars from the US, you know?
Yep.
Like my Gibson is a US custom. My Fender as well. I mean, it was so difficult to get a hold of good guitar here.
And that's
so,
the thing.
I have
people
great
ask me
guitars,
all the time.
don't get me wrong, but I mean, no variety whatsoever. Really fucking frustrating. And I was kind of wondering if you felt the same way, though you live in Nashville in the US, where I believe you have more variety than we have over here in Scandinavia. So that was basically my question to you.
Oh, no worries.
You know?
No worries, man. Yeah, no, like we definitely do experience similar problems, that's for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a variety of stuff that I can play, but they're all like names you wouldn't know, or like the token Epiphone or the token Squire that's sitting there that's left-handed. It's like, oh yeah, okay. you wanna get your kid a left-handed guitar to start playing guitar. Okay, here you go. They have nothing else in stock. Nothing else in stock.
Okay, yeah, man, fuck, that sucks. So okay, it's the same fucking problem.
And that's the thing. I had like a number of people always ask me like, "Oh, what do you think's better, Gibson or Fender?" I'm like, I've never played either. I have no fucking clue. But
that's a problem because you don't get to experience it before. You can't really choose. I chose my Fender based on the fact that I love Adrian Smith and he happened to play a Fender at the time.
Yep.
That's what I based my Fender Stratocaster on. Just Adrian Smith, Iron Maiden, basically. And the SG I have, the custom one, the Gibson one, is because he also played one of those back in the early days. He used to play an SG. That's it. And Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath as well.
I thought you were going to say Angus Young, so it's all right. I'm glad you didn't say that. No, I'm just messing around.
Now I just want to change up to a different question. So it's still music related. What kind of music were you raised on as a kid?
Oh dear Lord, the most important question you could ever ask someone about their musical tastes. Billy Joel for one. I love the shit out of Billy Joel. I don't care what anybody says. He is a master songwriter. He is extremely good. The Beatles, like early Beatles, not the later shit where they did a ton of drugs and shit, like early Beatles.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Lots and lots of American oldies. Lots and lots of that, man. Holy cow. My dad would always be rocking that station. And then of course, you know, because I have older brothers and sisters, I have three siblings. I'm the baby. I'm the baby.
Oh.
Okay.
Of course the baby's gonna be a snob, you know. Entitled privilege. Yeah. But yeah, so they were always listening to 90s music, and I really dig the 90s pop rock sound. But when I say pop rock, I mean like less grunge, more of like, you know, your Sister Hazel and your Hootie and the Blowfish type sound. I can definitely get down with those a lot. And I think really strictly because I was raised with it, you know.
Okay.
And then when I was 10 years old, nope, first 9 years old. I remember this specifically. So my brother got his license, he started driving me to school, and it would always be the Reload album or okay, I'm gonna mispronounce this. Sorry, German audience. Sehnsucht album by Rammstein.
Yeah, Sehnsucht, yeah.
Fuck yeah. No, dude, yeah.
And then the metal head just awoke inside you, and it's gone on since then.
It arose. The flame was lit. The flame was fucking
that's cool.
lit. And I think I might have said this before on another video, but like, I think the predisposition for me to get into that music was Power Rangers theme song and X-Men theme song. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
So
that
tasty.
X-Men theme song especially.
Yeah,
that X-Men theme song is so damn catchy. It stays stuck in your head. It's so epic as well. Like,
hell yeah.
My gosh. But, yeah, no, the reason I was asking, because it's so weird for me, because, like, the kind of music I was raised on in this household, I actually mentioned it to like our first guest we had on the podcast, Atman Todd. I grew up in a Christian household, so I was raised pretty much on a lot of religious music, but not like like the Hillsong happy clappy nonsense that you get nowadays. I was like raised on like the Gregorian chants and the other traditional stuff.
Dude, totally.
Then,
totally. No, I'm with you, man.
What else? Then pretty much my mom used to do ballet and stuff, so lots of classical music and stuff like that.
Let me add two to the list now that you said this. I also was raised on religious music, including Gregorian chant, but also I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jim Cohen. He's like he's a Christian singer songwriter, or at least was. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now. Probably getting fucked in the ass somewhere, but either way. Raised on that shit as a kid too, and musicals. musicals, I was definitely
yes, musicals too.
Interesting upbringing with the music wise.
Yeah.
Well, Sweden's got all the death metal bands. So.
I mean, for me, it was different. For me, it was totally different at all. I mean, we didn't have any religion in our household at all.
I was raised on the blood of my enemies.
It was only like, I don't know, Queen, Black Sabbath, Zeppelin, stuff like that on my dad's side, and Mom loved U2 and Janis Joplin and stuff like that. They're all hippies, you know, but nothing like religious at all.
Like us.
No,
like
not really.
Yeah, no, because
that's very
so
interesting.
I was raised on that, and then I guess the stuff that used to play on the radio, you know, like the late 90s, early 2000s shit, like the I don't know, the fucking boy bands and shit, like it was in the car.
It's gonna be May.
And that asshole.
So all that shit, but like my first real exposure to metal, like before Linkin Park, you know, the silent band thing, discovering, there are bands behind this, you know, not just this faceless guy who does the music for your TV show. So my first real exposure for metal music was, I remember going to the video store when video stores were still a thing and used to rent shit out. And I saw the very first VHS for Batman Beyond. And the moment that opening theme kicks in and it's just that industrial new metal kind of a shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want more of this music. And then the Devil May Cry games had it pretty much as well. So then I was like, I need more of this shit. And then, as I said, Linkin Park was my first real push into metal, and then it just kind of continued from there. So it's just so weird how sometimes it's so strange how sometimes, like in religious countries or in religious households, like that if you're raised on that shit, you might just become a metalhead, you know.
Totally.
It's so weird.
No, I don't think it's that weird at all, honestly, man. I mean, and that's the thing too, is a lot of metal is more melodic than people give it credit for. And I mean that, like, I've given shit to the use of the word melodic, but I actually do mean melodic in the sense of focusing on the melody. And a lot of that religious type shit, or especially classical and musical type stuff, it's all about the melody and being able to translate through music what's happening in front of you, or the idea you're trying to get across. Because it's in classical and more religious, well, actually less religious stuff. In classical, it's more about trying to convey that, because your only medium is sound. In the musical, oh dear Lord, what just happened? Oh, I got a notification. In the musical, and that's one of the reasons why I loved the new Dream Theater album. I mean, I wasn't not like a fucking diehard fan of it or anything, but one of the reasons why I loved it so much is because it brought in those elements from musicals to be able to use the music to paint a picture and actually convey more than just like, okay, we're Dream Theater and we're gonna just jizz all over our instruments, you know. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's pretty cool. Now, we've been talking about music a lot, but I have to ask Mike, because it seems you're familiar with the term weeaboo.
Oh, there we go.
So, have you ever watched any anime before? And if so, do you have any particular favorite series or movies? Like, even if you're not that well versed in it, have you at least seen something?
I'm definitely not very well versed in it, but there are some animes that are close to my heart. I will say that. For the record, this is a Mike the Music Snob. You can quote me. I do have respect for the Japanese animation style and the what do you call it? Not the motif of it all, but the styling. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool seeing how different cultures can interpret different mediums differently. Also, for the record, too, why does every anime person look like a white guy? Still trying to figure that out. They're all white as fuck, man. Either way. To answer your question, definitely DBZ. Also, huge fan of DBZ Abridged. Holy shit.
Oh, from Team 4-Star.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah. Those
so
guys are amazing.
Funny.
Those guys are amazing. I actually just started getting into Final Fantasy VII Machina Bridge too.
Oh, cool.
But what else? Naruto. Definitely Naruto. I feel kind of childish saying it, but honestly I don't even care, because like especially like the first like 2 seasons, that's really what hooked me in. It's because like there's not really a whole lot going on, and you can tell that they're all relatively pathetic, but like in their power, you know. But even for being as odd and as I guess the word odd is the word I'm looking for. As odd as all the characters are, each of them are very specific and dynamic, and they work so well together. Like I fell in love with it, man. It's really any good show is about the characters. The story is just a way of bringing these characters together and seeing how they interact with each other. So yeah,
definitely.
Naruto's characters were awesome, and I will say the only tiny downfall is I think they could have given Sasuke a little bit more of a. I think Sasuke actually does have a defined personality, but I just don't think that, at least in the TV show, they didn't convey that enough.
He's kind of bland, a
little too bland. A little too bland. Although, I mean, he's a badass, and every time he was on screen, I was like, oh shit, what's happening next? You know, like, I did like that. I tried to get into Full Metal Alchemist, and I couldn't.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, was this the original or the reboot Brotherhood, which stuck close to the actual books of which it was based on the manga books?
It was not Brotherhood.
Okay. Nobody really likes the original too much. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't do Brotherhood because I didn't know what the fuck it was, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the original. Little did I know it's not the original that I was going back to. But yeah, I don't know what it was. Like I tried to get into it, and it just didn't lock me in. See what else?
It's a bit slow. It gets better though, I think.
I've seen some later.
Everyone's like, but I want it better now.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it could be worse. It could be like One Piece, I guess. Yeah. But no offense, Claudio, not too.
Dude,
but those beginning couple of arcs are really boring.
Why do people like One Piece?
The story.
Explain. What? Really?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at. I've never watched it. I'll be honest. I never watched it. But I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, this looks like the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, and it really does. I do agree. It does look quite stupid, to be honest. The animation is way uglier than anything you've seen before.
It's legit. It's legit a kid show.
I actually don't watch the anime. I read the manga though. That's what I do.
Okay.
I stick to reading mangas. I don't watch anime. I stopped doing that years ago. But I read a lot of manga, and One Piece is by far one of the best mangas I've ever read. Actually,
I'll give it a check. I'll give it a check.
20 years now. I mean, it's like forever ago. It feels like I started reading it.
20 years.
Yeah.
Well, not 20, but I think I started back in 99, 2000, something like that. 17 years then.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't know it was around that long.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the guy who does One Piece used to be the assistant for another guy who wrote another manga that I really loved. So that's how I got into One Piece. And not thinking too much about the animation itself, I got hooked on the story. And that's why One Piece is the best selling comic in the world. It got the World Guinness record last year. I was in Japan when it happened last year. I was there watching it happen. It was fucking insane.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And
people walking around dressed as pirates getting fucking plastered as hell. Just be like, this is the greatest day ever.
But yeah, no,
this is a lot better than the furry convention.
I got into anime for a lot of the kid stuff, you know, the Pokemon craze and whatever as a kid. But when I really started getting like real serious into anime, it was like obviously Claudio knows this, and I've mentioned this a lot on the podcast. I know some
every
people get
fucking
sick of
time.
But yeah. But basically, I'll just summarize it quickly. So yeah, just Bleach, Naruto, Fairy Tail, all the ongoing ones, with the exception of One Piece. I could never get into it, not because of the story. It's just back at the time, I never had an appreciation for the art style like I do now. Like, I mean, now that I see that it's gotten a lot better over time, that I'm like, okay, this looks pretty cool, but I don't think I'll start reading it. It's too long. But no, then I started watching all the shorter series. So the stuff that has an actual definitive end, or in the most unfortunate case, they'll leave it on a cliffhanger and then they won't produce a second season, and then they'll say to you basically, go read the manga, go buy the manga, hey, read the books, and then you're like, come on. So yeah,
that's what we call that's the selling toys tactic.
You can recommend it. Sorry?
That's the selling toys tactic. Basically, at the end of the day, all of these mangas are businesses, and that was the whole thing with Naruto. It was like, yeah, it has an amazing story and you get sucked into it, but then at the end of the day, they're like, okay, hey, buy all this extra shit, and that's how they make so many millions and I don't know, possibly billions of dollars.
That's what's so funny now, because it's not so funny now. Naruto has ended. It's ended now, the Naruto story. But guess what? Because they want to make more out of it and like really milk it. Oh, let's make the sequel series called Boruto, and I'm like, really? You just changed the letter, and oh my gosh,
is that a real thing that's happening?
It's Naruto's son, and then I'm like, do we really need more of it? And like,
is this a real thing that's happening?
Everyone's yes, it's real. It's happening. Like, dude, it's a meme now. If you type in Naruto's name, it's a meme. You type it on Google. You type Naruto's name, Naruto Uzumaki, you will actually get a Google result saying, did you mean Boruto's dad? And now it's become a meme on every anime group. So it's like, Boruto's dad is Shippuden. And it's like, that's an interesting title. What if we made a prequel? It's like, it exists already. So, oh gosh, no, but everyone's moved on from it. Now it's My Hero Academia and all that stuff. But, yeah, no, but if I honestly wanted to recommend people anime, I'd say to them, go watch Cowboy Bebop.
I'm starting to get into that. My one buddy who we hang out a lot. That's all I'll say. But he wants to get me into Cowboy Bebop, and I tried it. The one night I was so far gone, I was like, okay, I can't follow. This looks amazing, but I cannot follow right now. I need to be more sober when I watch this show. But
yeah, you kind of have to, but yeah, no, but I get it. No, it's a very episodic show, but yeah, no, but the unfortunate thing I think with anime now is this is just to enlighten you now, Mike, is that anime, they've started churning out so much, like every season, you know, like summer, fall, spring, whatever. Every season they release like 30, 40, 50 plus shows, and obviously good amounts of them are pure garbage. They're either like copycat clones of the one that came before and stuff, you know.
That's what happened to Naruto. It was freaking like so many episodes were filler back to back.
Yeah, but what's so sad about it is that like Claudio really got me to go. Claudio actually said to me last year, he's like, dude, go back and watch Cowboy Bebop. Go back and watch all the classic anime, like the ones that are like high critically acclaimed classics.
Yeah.
I go back and I watch those. They are brilliant. And all that, but you can't make videos on them on YouTube unless you're a big anime YouTuber, because nowadays all the young anime fans are like, oh, I want to watch the new stuff. Fuck the old stuff, because we hate the old animation. We like the new stuff, and we want to see anime with more, I don't know, boob groping instead of actual plot and story, you know? So I'm like sitting there like, so whenever someone comes and says to me, oh, you watch anime, do you like, you know, watching all the boobs and stuff? I'm like, do you realize there are anime out there that aren't like that? Like, I mean, seriously, come on, not every anime is like that. I remember in school, I was like,
now that you bring that up, Miyazaki is the fucking man. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, Ghibli.
Oh, yes. Dude, Spirited Away might be one of my favorite movies ever. Like, just...
I'm with you there.
So breathtaking. I actually, they just earlier this year, I think it was in April, they did a re-showing on the theater screen. And the theater was so packed out, I had to sit on the floor. I didn't even care. I sat on the fucking floor and enjoyed the shit out of that movie. It was so good.
Yeah. It is really good.
It's really good.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And not only that one, I mean, many Studio Ghibli movies by him are really amazing, if I'm being honest. Really
honestly. They're like things that everyone can enjoy too. It's not just for one demographic or another. It's quite universal. They're astounding. They're astounding.
For sure.
Oh, by the way, if you like Ghibli, I finished the show last night. It's only 13 episodes long, but it's very Ghibli inspired with its art style and everything because of the manga it's based on. It's called Made in Abyss. And it literally has been a long time since an anime actually made me cry, like a long time.
Wow.
That was some sad shit, especially the last episode. So it's a brilliant show, beautiful animation. And if you like Ghibli, it's a show worth checking out. I cannot recommend it enough. It's very good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Cool. Hey, Mike.
What's up?
So I just have to ask, Portnoy or Mangini? Come on.
Oh, you want me to lose all my subscribers, don't you?
yeah, but that's the thing, you know. But that's the big one. That's the one that everyone debates. It's okay, Portnoy or Mangini.
We talking about in the context of Dream Theater or just period?
I mean, no,
there is a difference
of Dream Theater, I'd say.
In the context of Dream Theater, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very tough. Very, very, very tough. I'm going to have to lean Portnoy. The reason being is because of the total effect of all of the songs that were happening while he was in the band. Now, granted, he has an unfair advantage because he was there for several more albums during a time when they had more testosterone.
Years, I think.
25 years, and they also were all younger and more virile and had more testosterone in their blood. As dudes get older, they write weirder music. That's just fucking fact. But no, as far as like drumming style and proficiency goes, I like them both equally for different reasons. I think Mangini's style is astounding. The dude is literally a machine.
Yeah. Of course.
Fuck. But Portnoy has such feel. Holy Lord.
He has a groove that I think that he has a groove that Mangini lacks.
Yes. But
so I would also Portnoy
say
as well. And that's the reason why. I don't care about him as a person or what he did for the band, but he's playing in the band. It's like he has such a presence when he plays.
Absolutely. Actually. And also along those lines too, the way that they mixed his drums and his drumming mix style is more roomy, so it feels like it's more real and more there, whereas Mangini's is definitely more gated and closed off, like more of a traditional 80s style.
A bit more. You know who also changed drummers very drastically, and I fucking hated that. Opeth. I love Lopez playing.
Oh my god, he was so good.
He is such a groovy drummer. And I mean, Axe is fine as well. He's really good.
Yeah.
I really admire him. He's a really cool kid. He's very nice and everything. And he's a fucking beast. But Lopez had something about the groove. You could kind of feel it.
It was.
I mean, if you
dude,
listen
it was less. It was less what he was playing. It was less about what he was playing and how he was playing it.
Yeah.
That is 100% true. It was just so tasteful, so like it gives you tingles. Every drum fill gives you tingles. Every little feeling out the hi-hat and the ride whenever he's sitting there on the ride. It's just a fucking ride.
The hits on the snare, he has like these ghost hits, you know?
Yes.
In between hits. You know what I mean? What I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. You can barely notice them, but it's just like it's there, and it's just like
and it gives it a lot of life. That's why I really love him as a drummer.
It takes it out of metal,
especially live. He's a machine as well. But I always compare him to what happened to Dream Theater, like the Portnoy Mangini situation is very similar to what happened to Opeth, drummer wise, I think. I mean, those guys behind the kit, not the influence they had on the music, because I know that Portnoy was one of the founding members and that he had a lot of things to say.
He had a lot of things to say. He actually helped. He was like a main driving force for that band as like a business side of it too. He helped.
Yeah.
From what I can understand, he helped fight for them to get a lot of the success that they did. And I mean, not only that, a main songwriter. Whereas I don't think Mangini is as much in the songwriting process now as Portnoy was. I think that's more relegated to Petrucci and Rudess nowadays.
Yeah, but I think that Petrucci and I guess Jordan wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's easier for them to do music now. Instead of being 3 driving forces, it's easier with 2. Actually, easier with 1, if I'm being honest. But you know,
the truth. By the way, I don't know if you guys are familiar with jamming. I would assume you are, Claudio. But
with who?
With just jamming in general, with like just some random guys. Yeah, the more people you bring into the jam, the more complicated everything gets. So,
oh yes.
I mean, yeah, definitely narrowing down the number of decision makers definitely helps the product come along quicker.
And I think that saved them, if I'm being honest.
What did?
Losing Portnoy.
Really?
I think that saved the band because, you know, 3. I mean, I don't know how much Myung writes, but I mean, so many strong wills. If you're talking about Petrucci,
honestly, I don't know for sure. I feel like Myung just like shows up, you know?
Yeah. But he's a bit of a drone, if you want to call him that. Even though he's a fucking beast on the bass, I'm not
totally
saying anything else.
And totally
but,
chill
I mean,
and plays great parts. Like, and
it's a bass means.
Yeah. But I mean, the other guys. I mean, I believe it was a struggle between Portnoy, Petrucci, and perhaps Rudess in getting the songs together, because everybody had their say and they have their input and stuff like that. I think maybe that move kind of saved the band, you know, and gave them like a spark or whatever.
It could have. On another note, though, especially if you look at the way that Metallica did songwriting back in the day, that's how they got their best music, was because James and Lars, they loved each other and they hated each other so much. And that friction and that passion you could feel in the music. That's been gone.
Oh yeah.
That's been gone. And you can hear it, man. You can hear it. Like, don't get me wrong, love them to death. And they said back on the little behind the scenes documentary thing for S&M, like, you know, we're at the point now where we're rich enough we can just do whatever the fuck we want and take risks, and just because we want to. And I'm like, dude, good on you. Go do that. I mean, it's not necessarily going to be as good as the shit you did before, but I mean, happy that you're truly expressing yourself in the way that you feel is you. But at the same point, with that tension gone, it makes for healthier, happier lives, but less interesting music.
Yeah, true. We love the struggle. We love to hear the struggle through the music.
Helps us relate.
So we should get a band. So we should get a band with all the lefties and the struggle and all your emotional channels.
Left-handed drummer, left-handed bass player.
That really is a good point.
And then a left-handed singer as well. We need to find one of those. I'll be the first left-handed singer. Fucking hell. I'm not sure how to do it yet, but we'll figure it out. That'll be the real angst, is figuring out how to sing left-handed.
Oh gosh. Oh geez, look at the time. Okay. We're gonna have to end it there, unfortunately. So don't worry.
Such a good time,
guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast once again. The link to Mike's channel and all his social media accounts will be in the description box below. Please make sure you go and support him, regardless of his opinions on your favorite Dream Theater members. Please go check his channel out, show him some support. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my buddy Claudio as well. Show him some support as well. Links also in the description. And
the channel has become the night with a K. Well. The channel has become the night with a K. If you have too many friends, if this is a problem in your life, please watch my channel. We will solve this problem for you instantly.
Come to Mike. Anyway, so yeah, guys, and obviously you can find all my links in the description box below as well. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and until the next episode, take care of yourselves and have a kick-ass day.
Are you ready for it?
Woo!
Rock on!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock on! Hey guys, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment in the comments box below. Also be sure to subscribe for more podcasts and other great content. If you are interested in what Mike does, then be sure to show him some love and support by subscribing to his channel. Links are in the description and at the end of this video. Also show my buddy Claudio some love as well. The link is, as always, also in the description. Finally, if you want to follow me on social media, then you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, my anime list, Reddit, and VidMe. And if you want to support the channel, then consider checking out my Patreon, where you will find a bunch of awesome reward tiers that you can have access to. Thanks again for watching, and until the next episode, take care of yourselves, and as always, have a kick-ass day.